6-month-old Scarlett Marie Marsh was found dead May 18th, 2022. She died due to asphyxia. Her scumbag father, his name Alex Lewis Marsh, 20 years of age, had placed a heavy blanket over her. Why? Well, because she was crying. She was a 6-month-old baby, doing what 6-month-old babies do, crying. And the father was upset because he was playing video games. Video games were more important than the welfare of his child, so he threw a heavy adult blanket over the 6-month-old, went back to his games. When he eventually returned, we understand that he realized that his baby girl was dead and he did nothing about it. So he's pleaded no contest to second-degree murder, and with that, 2 further charges have been dropped. So my understanding is the courts of Michigan gave him a plea deal. Perhaps I've got that wrong, but that's my take on it. He's pleaded no contest to second-degree murder, but with that, the charges of first-degree child abuse and first-degree murder charges have been dropped, allowing him a reduced sentence potentially. We're told that Midland Police Department from Michigan attended the residence where the scumbag father lived with his 6-month-old girl. Again, her name is Scarlett Marie Marsh. This happened May 18th, 2022. Emergency medical services were called. They attended the scene. Emergency medical services noted that there was blood in the baby crib that appeared unusual. Scarlett was found deceased laying on her back. There was dried blood-like liquid inside of the baby crib and under Scarlett's nostrils. These things indicate that she had died sometime before, if I understand correctly. I'm not going to read through the full details, but in essence, the scumbag father, Alex Lewis Marsh, initially told investigators that he didn't do anything wrong. No, of course not. I put the girl to bed. She was fine. I woke up a little bit later and I rocked her back to sleep. She was fine. And then he left the family's home to pick up Scarlett's mother, who was at work. He left Scarlett at home. He says, or he said initially, that Scarlett was perfectly fine. But when he returned with the mother, the poor mother went to see her baby, 6-month-old Scarlett, and there she is. You know, she realizes her child is dead. This complete effing cunt knew that already. He knew that. He pretended Scarlett was fine. He drove to pick up the mother. He left Scarlett behind. The mother was angry about that. And then he takes the mother to witness her child dead. You effing scumbag. Just everything about this scumbag, this cunt, is just terrible. So initially he claims innocence. Oh, it wasn't me. But then eventually he seemingly admits his guilt. He told investigators that when Scarlett was crying, he threw a large grey blanket, an adult-sized heavy blanket, over the top of Scarlett's crib. It covered Scarlett's entire body, and with that, Scarlett died of asphyxia. She couldn't breathe. I have a heavy blanket. They're heavy. I could easily see it causing distress, leading to the death, leading to the asphyxiation of a child, of a 6-month-old. This scumbag was playing video games. He was being disturbed by the crying of Scarlett, so all he can bring himself to do is throw a heavy blanket over her. You fucking piece of shit. And then you bring the mother home. Oh, everything's fine, honey. Oh no, there's no problem. I left Scarlett at home, but that's fine. She was fine. It's just a short trip to pick you up and then bring you back. She'll be fine. Oh no, she's not fine. And the mother has to find her deceased. And then you continue to plead innocence. It's fucking awful. So this scumbag eventually did plead no contest, but he did so only because of the plea deal. I guarantee it. He has no genuine remorse. I'm going to say this, perhaps I shouldn't. He strikes me as brain dead. Obviously, I don't mean that entirely literally, but he just looks like he just seems like an immature waster, frankly. Someone whose brain is not in gear. You're a father. You were a father. Let's hope you never will be again. You're a father. You have responsibilities. The mother is going out to work. You're there to look after 6-month-old Scarlett. What are you to play video games? Worse than that, you caused the death of your own child. You fucking sick cunt. And then you bring the mother to witness the baby. There's too much awfulness there. There's too much evil. This guy needs to be banged away for an incredibly long time. So we are told that in Michigan, second-degree murder is punishable by life, and I hope he gets life. He's taken a life. I feel that he deserves life. If he doesn't get life, give him an extremely long time in jail. You don't need this fucking waster, this piece of shit child murderer who's more interested in playing video games than looking after his 6-month-old baby. You don't need him walking the streets. You don't need him being a member of society. If it were up to me, I'd say, no, he's lost full rights to being a member of civilization. Fuck him. If it were up to me, I'd invest $2 into a little bit of brass, a little bit of copper, a little bit of lead. I'd dispatch that to the back of his head rather rapidly, chuck him in a pit, pour some concrete over it, done. But no, we've got to show compassion to these child murderers, don't we? Well, let's hope Michigan has some balls about them and does apply either life or a very, very long time in jail. Let's hope the other inmates, the guards, have ample opportunity to speak with this scumbag about his video game interest, about his opinions on why video games are more important than the life of his child. Let's hope the other inmates are able to express their opinions on the subject. Let's hope the guards are able to also have nice little chats with this 20-year-old child murderer, Alex Lewis Marsh from Michigan. I play video games myself, by the way. I'm a grown adult, by the way, and I am trying to tone it down a little bit. This is another tangent. Video games are leisure. We all need leisure. We all need leisure. So I did look into stopping playing video games, because if I weren't to play video games, if I was to invest that time into making videos, then I'd be able to do what I want to do with this channel. But at the same time, I'm human and I need some leisure time. And I like playing video games. Mentally, they relax me. I'm not overly enamored with video games like I once was. I like very boring, simple games. I'm not in a rush to buy the latest games or anything like that. So I get the interest in video games, but you're a father. You have responsibilities. You have a completely vulnerable child, a 6-month-old, completely helpless, completely dependent. So as an adult, as a father, as a parent, it doesn't matter what your interests are. It doesn't matter. Fuck your interests. Your priority, your responsibility is to provide care and love to that child. And you were too immature, in my mind, to realize that. And that's my take on it. The guy did something absolutely awful. But my feeling, for whatever reason, and you're free to disagree, but I just feel that it's more out of stupidity, more out of immaturity, more out of selfishness, rather than out of absolute evil. But I could be wrong, and the sum total doesn't really matter. He took the life of his child needlessly. So he is guilty of murder, don't get me wrong, and he does deserve a very long jail sentence, prison sentence. I would say life, but certainly decades, and I hope that is the case. I'm going to wrap things up at this point. Of course, full condolences to the family and friends of Scarlett Marie Marsh, particularly the mother. How traumatic would it be to come home, to have your partner say, "Oh, hi dear, let's go check up on Scarlett. Oh no, she's dead." How fucking heartbreaking that would just be. I mean, not only heartbreaking, that would just melt someone's mind, someone's understanding of the world, someone's viewpoint. So I really do feel for the mother. Her life has been ripped apart, ripped to absolute shreds, and she'll never fully recover from this, I'm sure. I do hope that she is able to live a fulfilling life, but she's going to struggle for a very long time because of this scumbag child murderer, her partner. So perhaps we could mention to the mother that perhaps she's to blame to some degree for being in a relationship with this sick weirdo, but I don't know if that's appropriate to blame the mother in this case. Anyway, I've continued on my ramble, so I'll pull the handbrake. I'll thank you for your time. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. If you're in a position to consider joining my memberships, that would be great. I have had one member. I'm not sure if they're still with me, and that's fine. If you're not able to join, that's fine, but I'll thank you for your time and take care.